Hi everyone, I'm Niharika John Mehra and welcome to this session. First part, um, it got abruptly ended because of some reason we don't know. So here is the second part. We'll continue doing the questions here. Okay. Now, just to brief you, classes for CSAT are going on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1:30 p.m. and every day, Monday to Saturday, 8 p.m. I've started Editorial Express where we are doing deep analysis of editorial for our exam purpose. Okay, lot of activities, lot of segments are included in those in that particular session of 8 p.m. So please make sure that you are there and attend live classes. Okay, so we'll continue with the next question. There you go. Kindly go through it. I'm going to give you some time, and yeah, your time starts now. Answer is D. A logical conclusion from the passage, logical, rational, all these are just words. Basically, conclusion is what you have to see. On Monday, the Environmental Protection Agency released its list of counties, areas of tribal lands that are exceeding daily standards. So there was a list, and it's about the areas that are exceeding daily standards for fine particle pollution caused by emissions from whatever sources. The pollutants in question are extremely small, measuring at 130th the diameter of human hair. Wow. The particles can get deep into the lungs and even enter bloodstream. This is like very threatening and dangerous and are blamed for respiratory problems, especially in children and elderly. So the conclusion is that EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, would want to bring to light. They want to uh, uh, they want to open it up in front of everyone that the areas are there. These are the areas which exceed the daily standards for fine particle pollution. And what all is included in the pollution, what the pollution is doing, it's given there. But the conclusion is that the list talks about such areas which are exposed to fine particle pollution. And this was the simple conclusion. Okay. The EPA would be imposing a heavy fine on countries that exceed the daily standards. Okay, counties, not countries. So, of course, wrong. Tribals have been aware about the harm. They know, they don't know. Are they doing something about it? Is not mentioned. And if not mentioned, cannot be my conclusion. Vehicles that exceed the daily standards would be banned. They should be. This could be something like a suggestion author might give later on, but not at this point. It's not a conclusion. You will be required to take some time to read this and try to keep your phone screen or laptop screen on a full screen mode so you can read better. Okay. Answer to this one is only one. Now, according to the passage, which of the following should be practice or practices in good corporate governance? What is passage suggesting? Okay, any kind of thing we can follow, any practice which is good. So, corporate governance is based on principles such as conducting the business with all integrity, fairness, being transparent, making all the necessary disclosures and decisions, complying with the laws, accountability, and responsibility towards stakeholders, commitment to conducting business in an ethical manner. So these are the practices in a good governance, corporate governance, and which is right there in the beginning of your passage. Another point which is highlighted on corporate governance is the need for those in control to be able to distinguish. Another practice should be they should be able to distinguish between what are personal funds and corporate funds. Fundamentally, there is a level of confidence that is associated with a company that is known to have good governance. The presence of an active group of independent directors on the board contributes. Corporate governance is known to be one of the criteria that foreign investors are depending on. So later on इतना हमें नहीं मिलता clean image and all के लिए क्या है वो बातें हैं. So practices initially जो दिए. Companies should always comply with labor and tax laws of land. Yeah, which is there, which is given that we should comply with all the laws of the land. So tax laws, labor laws, all the laws में आ गए. All के अंदर सब आ गया. So yes, first one is one of the practices we author is saying we need to follow. Every company in the country should have a government representative. Not mentioned, wrong. Then the manager of a company should never invest his personal funds. Not mentioned. Only first one was the answer. A short one now. Maybe I'll just give you 1 minute or 1.5 minutes for this. Yeah. In the given context, enormous heterogeneity of the linguistic and cultural background of the children implies that these children, now you have to complete it as per the passage. यहाँ पे क्या है? Okay. So surveys conducted in many of our primary schools reveal. So these surveys reveal the enormous heterogeneity. Okay, that is of the linguistic and cultural background. This is contrary to the belief they all come from Hindi speaking backgrounds. Contrary है, that means they come from different cultural backgrounds. है ना? We can get to see that these reveal that heterogeneity of the linguistic cultural background is totally opposite to the belief. That means they come from different cultural background. Classes नहीं बोलेंगे because we are talking on the basis of culture and from what it relates somewhere to the linguistic part, the language part. That's why we are gonna go with the D1. States से आते हैं. It's a too broad thing to say, and we won't go for that if we have a specific answer. Speak different languages. That is not one thing alone. Okay, we are talking about both the things. Okay, that's why दोनों ही चीजें हमें अगर बतानी है, so they come from different cultural backgrounds. Answer to this one is D. In order to, okay, so the prime aim of the manufacturer and promoter is to ensure that. What's the aim? So to boost sales of toys at times other than the peak sale time, that is the Christmas time, manufacturers may use techniques. Character toys from the movies or TV serials are promoted, and all sets are collectible by the young purchasers. So, what are they following? They want to work on their sales and they want to boost it apart from the peak sale time. They do this thing. Collections, however, may appear to be complete because as soon as the characters are acquired, the child then requires the car, the phone, other things to ensure happy environment for the toys. तो एक बार कैरेक्टर आ गया तो उसके साथ के एसेसरीज भी आ जाते हैं. Ultimately, the elusive final piece of the series is attended as the manufacturer promoter releases the next series of the collectibles. So this is the way they boost the sales. So the prime aim of these people it's to ensure that sales need to be bolstered, means to be made strong, need to be strengthened throughout the year. So what they are doing, first set of collectibles, then things that give more meaning to those collectibles, and then the second series of the collectibles based on the movies and TV series. This is how they maintain good sales throughout the year. Otherwise it's just the peak time when their toys will be sold. So here, D was your answer. That's the prime aim. Children should be encouraged to complete their collections of toys. Very controversial sentence, and of course, not my answer. As soon as one set is complete, then the next one arrives on the scene, but this is not the aim. All children should be happy, and no child can be happy without a complete series of toys. May be true, but then not what is the aim of people who are selling it. Answer to this one is A. What you can infer, let's search the passage and see what's hidden behind the line. Aspiration is nothing new, okay? Neither is the debate over what the Indian middle class is and what it wants and what it buys. So, this is nothing new. Since the mid 80s, that has been the focus of economic policy papers, so called pro and anti pro poor budgets and marketing strategies that have successfully broken the barrier of urban selling and reached deeper into rural India. So the mindset here is to cater to Indian middle class probably, and accordingly things are set, things are sold, and we get to see that they are reaching deeper into rural India with increasing income levels and aspirations. So Indian middle class has been the focus of economic policies for a long time. Nothing new in it. Okay, and that's how the aspirations are like are focused on, and they are given to these people in a way through the policies and whatever they can do. Indian middle class has graduated from deprived to pampered middle class. It's a too specific sentence to say. Hence, of course, A आपके पास था, so neither nor वाला आंसर था नहीं. Answer to this one is A. Well, the argument now logically follows which of the one thing given strengthens follows the argument above the paragraph above, one and the same thing. Well, we cannot restrict meaning of life to our limited power of imagination. As life even exists, that there where we have no reach, even beyond the level of imagination, even beyond reach of modern science and scientists. So it's way beyond what we can think of, and that's why we cannot restrict meaning of life. Okay? Our knowledge is limited. We do not know everything about our surrounding. There are restrictions, barriers. We do not even know. We don't know even about things we have with us, or even about our own self. So, author is something deep here. Given a limited understanding and abstruse circumstances, it is not possible to give a universal definition of life. That's what author is saying, that it is so vast we cannot restrict the meaning of life. That means it's not for us to comprehend it completely. Its meaning, its purpose, why we are there, where we live, our surroundings, things around us, everything is limited. That's why an absolute definition, a universal definition of life, the meaning of it and the purpose of it cannot be given. It has the same message conveyed as of in the passage. So that was my answer. Why not BCD? Our individual meaning of life is unique. True. Even if we are not aware or have identified ways to express it. Now, this is not going or not helping me to understand more what is mentioned in the passage. Okay, that's why not my answer. There are so many things that life consists of, and hence meaning of life often changes from time to time. Now, yes, meaning of life is something that is not exactly what we can comprehend, but the reason is not that there are so many things life has because of the numerous things. That's the reason we are unable to comprehend the meaning of life. So, this is again something apart from what my author is saying here. Meaning is a creation of mind, and it is not meaning which is foundation of life. But meaning alone was not in the question. It was about understanding what life is. That's why A is strengthening the thought expressed in the argument expressed in the para. Answer to this one is only one. According to the author, poverty is not the main cause of malnutrition, but the fact that something else is. So we need to understand which is the correct thing to complete. Okay. So but the fact that taking care of younger ones is not a priority for working mothers. This is one of the cause I think author is talking about of malnutrition. The malnutrition occurs between the ages of 6 to 2 years. This happens despite the child's food requirements being less than that of an older child. Malnutrition is often attributed to poverty, but it has been found that even in the households where adults eat adequate quantities, more than 50% of children under 5 do not consume enough food. Why is this happening? The child's dependence on someone else to feed him or her is primarily responsible. The child is depending on somebody to feed him or her. Very often, mother is working, and the responsibility of feeding is left to an older sibling. It is therefore crucial to increase awareness regarding the child's food needs and how to satisfy them. So, this is what we get to see that it's not the poverty that is the main cause, but unavailability of a responsible person. In this case, author is saying because mothers are working, other people are they may not focus and pay attention that much. That is one of the reasons of malnutrition. So only the first one. Okay. Second says awareness of nutritional needs is not propagated by public health authorities. We need to increase awareness, but this the cause of malnutrition is not that the awareness is not present. Eat the other way around also. Okay. For this one, I'll just give you 1 minute. It's such a small, short, sweet question. Argument about depends on which of the assumption. So basically, which of the following is the correct assumption? Our school district should not spend its money on new verbal reading program. So first of all, author starts with a negation. The school district should not spend money on this program. After all, our students get all the reading practice they need by studying history and science. So they get all the kind of reading practice from other subjects. तो इसको लिखा क्यों होगा author ने? Why author wrote this? What he was thinking? That the verbal program involves only reading practice. And if only reading practice is there, they can do, students can have that from the other subjects. So this is the assumption that is a valid assumption for the passage given above. The verbal program would not help the students learn history and science. That's why they should read more history and science. Not the right relationship. Other reading programs are just as effective but less expensive than the verbal advantage program. So, my author, if he assumed this, he must have spoken about the pros and cons of other programs and this program. He must have spoken about the comparison part of one program with other. But he's saying that the reading program is not something that is a must because children get to read from other subjects. That's what is going with C. Teaching students history and science is more important than teaching them reading skills. So author is not saying reading is not important. He is not saying history and science, these are the only things kids should study. And that's the reason D is not the right answer, because if that would have been the assumption, author might have spoken about the importance of history and science, which he has not done here. Another short question, 1 minute for all of you. Okay. If assumptions of the argument above are true, then which of the following must be true? So, if this, again, the same kind of thing we did in the last question. So, all good athletes, they want to win, and all athletes who want to win eat a well balanced diet. So, all good athletes, they all want to win, and that's why they eat good diet. Therefore, all athletes who do not eat a well balanced diet are bad athletes. Okay, ये तो typical आपका logical reasoning वाला question है. So in this case, we get to see that all they who are not eating a well balanced diet are the bad ones. Can we say that? No athlete who does not eat a well balanced diet is a good athlete. Okay. So a good athlete is always going to eat a well balanced one. But if it is, and but we get to see there are no athlete who does not eat a good diet. Okay, if the person is not eating a good diet, then that person is not a good athlete. That's what we get to see here. No athlete wants to win. No bad athlete wants to win. We don't know. Every athlete, all of them want to win. Every athlete who eats good diet is a good athlete. Now, again, this cannot be said because we are saying that all those who want to win, they eat a well balanced one. So winning वाला part यहाँ पे था नहीं. Then all athletes who want to win are good athletes. So what about the eating part? Because the relationship established with respect to eating part. इसलिए यहाँ पे आंसर ए था. Assumption का question है यहाँ पे. The same passage, one liner passage, but now the question is of assumption. Answer to this one is D. See, we have all the new names here. Doesn't mean that this is an entirely new information. For any assumption to be correct, okay, or to be refuted, we want to understand the meaning, the tone of what is given and what is given in the option. So, which of the following, if true, would refute the assumptions of the argument above? That means it would weaken the statement. Now, the statement above says all good athletes want to win, and if they want to win, they want to eat well. So, Bob the accountant eats well, but he is not a good athlete and wants to win, but she is not a good athlete. This is incomplete. All the players on the baseball team eat a well balanced diet, this is something in favor. It is strengthening. Maybe all of them, they want to win, and that's why they are eating a well balanced diet. So this is strengthening. Cindy, a basketball star, does not eat a well balanced diet, but she is a good athlete. So here, what is mentioned in the passage is being negated. Author says all good ones want to win, and that's why they eat a well balanced diet, all of them. But here, the person is winning. It's person is a star, a good athlete, but she's not having a well balanced diet. So this is opposite. This is contrary to what is mentioned in the passage. Hence, that was my answer. Okay. Well, so also we were talking about athletes. So Bob, since he is accountant, it has nothing to do with him being an athlete and all. तो यहाँ पर भी A आप eliminate कर सकते थे. Okay, this is a strong reason to eliminate because my passage was focused on athletes, good ones, and what they are doing. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Make sure to like and share the session and subscribe the channel if you haven't done till now. Most of the sessions are live sessions. Just in some cases, we have to go with recorded ones. No worries. I'll get to see you at 8 p.m. and that will be a live editorial analysis session. See you in the evening. Bye.